In this next lecture on entrepreneurial marketing, we're going to talk about customer psychographics. So we're going to talk about customer segmentation and some of the things that drive a customer to make the purchases, to become a customer, and maybe a long-term loyal customer for your business. So first, let's return back to that academic definition that we've looked at in previous lectures. So entrepreneurial marketing is a proactive identification, exploitation of opportunity to obtain and maintenance profitable customers through innovative perspectives on risk management, value creation, and entrepreneurial resource navigation. So we're going to focus on the last part, innovative perspectives on risk management, value creation, and entrepreneurial resource navigation. So how do we create value for our customers? How do we make sure that the resources that we have available, the value proposition that we create, becomes useful and valuable to a certain population? So we're going to talk about customer segments and really what drives them. So we've talked about customer segments a little bit before now. We've talked about demographics plus psychographics and about how situations drive people to be in different mind frames and have different wants and needs. Well, we want to talk about ranking your customers and understanding what is important to them. If you can determine what drives a customer to make a purchase, you can figure out which customers to focus on first. We've talked about finding and maintaining profitable customers. So not just people that will buy, but people that will buy at the price and at the frequency that we need them to buy in the beginning. And so one of the key factors here is understanding what drives them to make the purchase. Maybe somebody's a gamer, maybe somebody's a casual gamer, and really they just like to play a couple of different types of games, and they don't even care if they have the latest and greatest graphics or the latest system. This is probably not a good customer for an entrepreneur because they might be satisfied buying something used, buying something old, maybe 2-3 generations back, and really playing games that aren't even current. And so their total cost to get into the world of gaming might be $150 for a system and maybe $20 or $30 per game. Where if you can find a gamer that's the way they game is very important to them and they want the latest and greatest, they're going to spend $400 or $500 on a new system and they're going to be paying full price for the games, $60 to $80 to $90 plus all the expansions, plus all the extra points. They're going to be constantly shelling out money for whatever system that they're interested in. And so we need to understand who are the segments of customers and what is important to each one of these segments. So is this a crucial item to them, or is it something more trivial? At what frequency does it occur, or will they need your product or service? Are they going to need it all the time? Are they going to want it on a daily basis? Or is this something that they just do once a year for a special occasion? And it can be different. You can have a product that services people on a daily basis and other people every 3, 6, 12 months. And so we need to prioritize who those people are and how much they need it and make sure that we tailor it to them. And then the last thing we ask is, in what context is the job done that may impose restraints or provide advantages to this product or service? Is there something that they need to get done and they are required to make this purchase along the way? Or if they do something a certain way, they no longer want this purchase? This is probably easier with an example. So I work with this printing company that prints, it does custom printing for Etsy designers. And so if somebody goes to Etsy to, say, create a wedding announcement, they can get wedding announcements done for very inexpensive. They sort through all the different designs, pick the one they want, give their information to the designer. Designer tidies up that Photoshop file and creates a print-ready file for them to take either to a Costco or a Walmart and get it printed, or to print at one of the online printers. And so this particular company that I work with is an online printing company. They don't have customers that come to them first to get printing until they've already got a design. And so their printing becomes very necessary and very important and very possible only after the first step is taken where someone's selected a design, and they only select a design once there is an event that is planned, a wedding, a birthday, something that drives that invitation or that custom printing. So understanding wants and needs of the customer is super important. Before you take a product or service to market, you want to understand everything you can about that particular customer. So we want to get deeper inside of their brain and understand, how do they spend their money? What is important to them? Why would they actually make that purchase? Or what are they trying to achieve? What are their particular needs? We all have needs at different times in our life. When we're in high school, we think our need is something. When we get into college, our needs change. And then once we're married, we get older, middle age, we have different needs. And as a senior, our needs are completely different as well. And so it's important to figure out all of these stages and what is important and what are the needs for each of our customers. So it's important to observe a day in the life for that customer. You should be able to get in and observe the type of customer that you want to sell to ultimately. So we do a little customer definition, we do some guesstimation on the customer segments, and then we figure out ways that we can either shadow or observe people. And sometimes it's physically following people around, sometimes it's about asking a lot of questions. And so if you take a look at this illustration, this is kind of a simple illustration of a day in the life of a potential consumer. So that person wakes up in the morning, they get in their car, they go to work, they have their operations during their workday, they might go out and they might eat lunch, they might drive home, they might go to their recreation, their softball league, they might eat dinner, and then they go back to bed, and the cycle continues on. Well, if I'm somebody that maybe is selling like an Uber Eats or a DoorDash, some type of food delivery service, how do I sell to that person? Are they more busy and it's more necessary during their workday at work? Is their recreation taking the place of their normal meal preparation, and maybe I sell to them at night? Are they wanting me to deliver coffee to their house in the morning? Now, some of those sound absurd and some of those sound pretty reasonable, and it just matters on what the customer will do. If you'd have told me 20 years ago that somebody was going to be delivering McDonald's cheeseburgers to houses at a premium, I would have said that's completely crazy. But McDonald's and Uber Eats go hand in hand, and they deliver a mountain of cheeseburgers on a daily basis to people that require that product. And why do they want it? Why do they need it? Is it a time thing? Is it an entitlement thing? Is it a happiness? And so we need to understand exactly what drives the consumer to make the purchase that they make. So consumers are kind of a weird thing. I've got an illustration here of the inside of a 7-Eleven. This is actually an Asian 7-Eleven. I thought was pretty cool. But I want you to think about a convenience store and think about customer segmentation inside of a convenience store. And think about a beverage product like a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a brand that's known across the world. And so if you think about Coke, in how many formats is it sold inside of this convenience store? It's quite a few, right? So somebody could walk in and could purchase a beverage at a fountain, maybe like a 64-ounce drink at a 7-Eleven, and maybe that costs $1.89, let's say $2, just to round it up and be easy to do the math. You could also make a purchase of that Coca-Cola in the refrigerated case, and you could buy a 20-ounce bottle, which, interestingly enough, costs about $2. You could also find Coke in a 12-pack, either sitting warm on the aisle. It might be stacked on an end cap. Maybe there's some kind of special sporting event, or we've probably all seen these before where they stack up a bunch of product that they plan to move. Or maybe they want to put that 12-pack in the freezer, or not the freezer, but the refrigerated section. And that 12-pack is down there so you can grab it when you're on the way to a party or something. Now, why does somebody walk into a convenience store and spend a couple of dollars extra for a refrigerated 12-pack of Coca-Cola? It's usually driven by a party or an event. Why does somebody walk in and grab a 64-ounce soda for the same price that you can grab a 20-ounce soda. So why the 64 and why the 20-ounce? Both of them sell like crazy, but they both have different levels of importance and offer different features. Now, we're still talking about Coca-Cola, but in all three of these formats, it provides different convenience, different features, different reasons for the purchaser to buy it. Now, here's the crazy thing is if you think about customer segments, that could actually be the same person in all three scenarios. Maybe I'm the example and I go in mid-morning and I want to drink a soda all day long, which sounds pretty good. And I'm going to get a 64-ounce drink and set it at my desk and I'm going to drink it all day long. Or maybe I'm headed off to school to teach and I want to be able to throw that Coke in my backpack and take it into the classroom. It's going to be a lot easier to transport the 20-ounce bottle than it is the 64-ounce. And so maybe just for spill factor and convenience and the fact that I can seal it up, maybe I'm going to get a 20-ounce. Maybe I'm headed to an event or a party and I've said I would bring drinks and I don't want to take the time to park and go into a grocery store. And I also don't think that the 12 packs will be refrigerated in a grocery store. So I might go to the convenience store because I know that's a pretty safe bet. All of that information is going on in a tiny little square footage area inside of a convenience store. And so in such a small area, customer segmentation can be represented in a lot of different ways. So I thought that was a neat example. Anyway, in the next lecture, we're going to continue on with understanding our customers. And so I'll see you in the next lecture.